Welcome to Deadly Dames. This is another two of the to be watched movies from our to be watched pile. So this is just our reviews on them. That's a really hard sentence to say. We should probably think of another way to introduce these.
How about these are the films we watched?
Oh, you're boring. But yeah, so these are two reviews from another two of our to be watched movies. So, Tale of Tales and Burnt Offering. So we'll start with Tale of Tales. So this one I actually recently picked up because I did a big trade-in, and you'll see in my last video, and kind of used the money from the trade-ins of movies I wasn't going to watch again to pick up a couple of films which I've been looking at, sort of eyeballing for a while and not wanting to pay full price for, because I've had a bad run of luck paying full price for movies and then they're not very good. So I decided to hold off until I was doing a trade-in and pick them up that way. I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was very inventive the way that he did it. Sorry, got about a million messages coming through here. Yeah, so I thought it was really inventive the way that this film was done. So basically the movie is about 3 different kingdoms, and it's very fairy tale orientated. So you've got one kingdom where the queen really wants to have a child, you've got one kingdom with a really randy king, and you've got one kingdom where a very possessive father who doesn't want to lose his daughter. And it's different tales of what happens. We'll try our best not to do spoilers here, but unfortunately sometimes they come out, so we'll just try our best not to say too much. Really liked that there was things that happened in this movie where it left a lot to your imagination. I like films like that. I think nowadays filmmakers tend to act like the audience is stupid and like they have to spell out stuff, and my pet hate's probably flashbacks, unnecessary flashbacks. We don't need flashbacks to point out every little bloody detail. We can remember the film, we've just watched it. And I really liked that this movie didn't go down that path, and it did tell a story, but it didn't tell everything, so it left you to kind of make up some of the aspects, and I like that.
I like that a lot of the... Sorry, I'm loaded with a cold still. I liked how a lot of the story was actually told from the actor's performance, so you knew their emotions, you knew what was going on, or the reasons behind why they were doing certain things, just based on how they acted or the things that they did, or even their reactions to a certain event. I'm trying not to give anything away, but it was really good. See, if I'm honest though, when Mandy put this on, I can't remember what I was doing, but I was doing something else, and
she was messing about on the iPad.
But looking at the cover, I thought, I don't know what I think of that. I had no interest. I mean, I don't think that the cover really jumps. I know you can't judge a film by its cover, but
I think it does. I mean, look at it. You've got Selma Hayek, Big Metal Spider. Sorry, too much South Park. In the middle, and then you've got all the fantasy aspects at the side. I think this cover does exactly like it says it's going to do.
Well, anyway, I thought, nah, I'm not really going to bother watching this. I'll leave this one for Maddie. It was on in the background while I was doing something, but before I knew it, I was watching it. So it was quite an easy watch, and as you were saying, I like that it doesn't really need to tell you how a certain story thread is ending. It doesn't need to tell you origin stories.
I liked the performances in it as well, because like it had this is going to sound terrible because I don't actually remember the actress's name, but Mona Myrtle from Harry Potter.
I can never remember her name. Mona Myrtle.
Mona Myrtle, that's what her name is. But I felt really sorry for her character at stages. I just really... the way she performed it was amazing. And the princess, the one that ends up getting married off, I thought that storyline was amazing as well.
You know what I think it is about this film is that this film is a good example of how excellent actors can tell so much of your story, but without you having to...
Without spelling it out.
Explain it like throughout the film. You just know what's happening.
Like, you understood Selma Hayek's character, basically. She wanted to have a child, and she used magic to have a kid, but you could actually physically see how much she wanted to have a child and the lengths that she was going to go to keep that child. without her having to do too much. It was all in her expression and the way that her body language and the way that she did it. And it's the same with the king who didn't want his daughter to leave. You could see like how selfish he was being without him having to do too much with it. And the funny thing is, the actor that Toby Jones, we've seen him in Barbarian Sound Studios, and we didn't like that film, and we didn't think much of him. But I actually thought he was I actually thought he was pretty good in this film. Totally changed my opinion of him. Vincent Castle, he's not a bonny man in this, is he? You don't think he's a bonny man anyway, but. I actually really enjoyed his storyline, the Randy King, and then the woman that he ends up with, and I really did enjoy it. As I said, I liked a lot of the aspects of this, that certain things happened and they didn't explain it, because that, to me, that's the type of movie that finishes with us debating what we thought it was.
We did talk about this film for a while. I mean, I feel like you get a glimpse of this world, and that's what it is. It's just a glimpse, but you take so much from what you see.
I would like to see more Tale of Tales, put it that way. I really, really enjoyed this movie. Definitely going to hang on to it. It's definitely a film that I'd rewatch. It's actually over 2 hours long, but you don't feel like it's that long because it's so many different stories and interweaving with each other. If you haven't seen it and you like fantasy and kind of action films, then this is definitely one that you're going to want to watch. The next movie that we watched was Arrow Video's release of Burnt Offerings. So this is a film that I've actually wanted to watch for a while. We went to the all-night horror movie marathon at the Grosvenor last year. I always forget where it was. And what they do is they play like five movies in the original like 35 format, 35mm in it. But they play a lot of old horror adverts as well, and this was one of them. And I remember saying to you at the time, hey, that movie actually looked pretty good. And the thing is, like, we both like Oliver Reed. As much as the guy was a bit of a drunken nutter in real life, he can act. I mean, you're not going to deny that.
He's an excellent actor.
Karen Black, like, she is a horror icon. She's been in so many horror films, and Bette Davis, in my opinion, is one of the all-time best actresses that has ever existed. And they're all in this film, and when we seen the advert, the movie jumped out at us straight away. But I could never find it, and when I did find it, it was always very expensive. So when Arrow Video announced that they were going to be releasing this, I pre-ordered it immediately. So we watched it last night. It's very much got I'm going to say it's got a Shining feel, but it's nothing like The Shining. It's just the feel of the family, and the family being torn apart. That's similar to The Shining. But it's basically about this family who decide to take up an offer of staying in an old house in the middle of nowhere and looking after it for a summer, so that a brother and sister who own the house can go away for a summer holiday. The only reason that the family decide to do it is because it's very, very cheap for them to stay there, and it's going to save them money.
And it's a lovely house.
It's a lovely house as well. And I think you get the feeling that they maybe have had a bit of turbulence in their relationship, and this is their idea of getting away and kind of maybe working round about the issues that they've had. But the house isn't exactly what you think it's going to be. Again, try not to give too much away here, but what I absolutely loved about this movie was it's a perfect example of not needing to have blood and guts and gore to make a movie suspenseful and actually scary. There were parts in this through performances that you generally were uptight and sitting on the edge of your seat with. Bette Davis and Oliver Reed, like, you could totally see the pain and the panic in their performance, and I felt for them with the way that they performed. The soundtrack added a lot to this as well, and I think the way it was shot added a lot to it.
And see, when you're watching it though, you can tell that Oliver Reed and Bette Davis, they must have got on like a house on fire, because there is a lot of chemistry.
He slaps her butt in a scene, and you can pretty much guarantee that was not in the script. But
a bit like Tale of Tales, it was one of those films that it doesn't need to spell every single thing out to you for you to know what's going on. A lot of it is the actor's performance.
What I loved about this as well, when the movie ended, Claire had an idea of what she thought the whole film was about, and my idea was completely different from
Yeah,
yours.
I think your one was right, but
We'll not give too much away, but I love movies like that. I love movies that finish and you can debate and talk about what you thought that movie meant. I hate movies that spell everything out to you like you're an idiot and that you need to know pretty much word for word what's going on. I like a movie that's got a bit of mystery and it's going to allow people to have a good lengthy conversation about it.
Plenty of mystery. Like a lot of the history of the house is left up to you to figure out or decide for yourself, and
I love that about it.
I quite liked it.
What I thought was strange is that it is, as I said, quite similar to the family idea from Shining, not the storyline, the family idea.
Well, in a way, it is a lot like, okay, they're not snowed in, and they're not really in the middle of nowhere in the same sense.
But it's not.
But they can't just leave the house, because the catch to them being in this house is the brother and sister, their elderly mother lives in this room in the very top
and they
floor
have
of
to
the
look
house.
after her.
Well, they don't. It's actually the wife that takes it upon herself to be the sole carer for this woman, though she doesn't really seem to need a lot of care, just dinner's brought up to her. But, you know, already that is, like, dividing the family, and it is a reason for them not to just
leave the house. But what I was going to say is, I think what I found really strange is that the movie's quite similar in feel to The Shining. The Shining's very much all about suspense and terror and not really being able to get away, and this movie's quite similar in that sense. But and I love The Shining, so this isn't anything against The Shining, but The Shining is like famous beyond famous, and yet this is a movie that not very many people talk about. And again, I love Jack Nicholson, so I'm not going to say anything bad against him, but Oliver Reed's performance in this is better. And I know they're playing slightly different parts because it's more like the wife is the Jack Nicholson character in this than the other way around. But Oliver Reed's performance in this movie was amazing. Same with Bette Davis. Like, I
would say Bette Davis is probably stood out more. I mean, what happens to her in the film is horrendous, and even though, I mean, not to give too much away, but it's not as if she gets, hacked to bits by
what's I'm saying,
machete
there's not
wielding
blood and
maniac
gore
or
in this
anything
movie.
like that. But I think what happens to her is far worse than, if she had been hacked to bits by a machete wielding maniac. That would have been a kindness compared to what happens to her. And it's, this film was
brilliant. And
it was brilliant.
I think out of all the movies that we've seen lately, with the exception of probably Snowpiercer, this is the movie that I've proper gone, you know what, that was excellent. It's a movie that I could, just like with Snowpiercer, but I keep mentioning Snowpiercer, that's how much I loved it. I watched that again pretty much straight after watching it. I could do the same with Burnt Offerings, because I thought this movie was so good.
I think that this is one of those films, though, that each time you watch it, that you'll notice more. And knowing the end, obviously, because we've seen the whole thing, that I think if we watched it again, would probably pick up on things and go, oh, right, that makes more sense.
That's what I think we would do as well. Definitely, if you have never seen Burnt Offerings and you're a fan of movies that use the lighting, the atmosphere, the music, with amazing acting, rather than spelling everything out to you and just shoving blood and guts in your face because they think you're an idiot and can't figure out what's going on, then this is a movie for you. It is superb. As I said, I think Oliver Reed and Bette Davis and Ken Black's performance are really, really good in it. I'm biased because I love Bette Davis, but if you're looking for a film which has put a lot of thought and a lot of energy into making a movie which is centred around the performances, then this is the movie for you. And so I would definitely 100% recommend it. Great release from Arrow Video. The picture quality is amazing, and you're not going to see a better version than this one. And this one obviously has gone back on my shelf. I'm definitely not getting rid of it. But yeah, sorry we rattled on because we love these two so much. But as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any questions, please leave them below. We do like to talk about movies. And go and get yourself a copy of both these movies because they were amazing. And thanks and take care. See you later.